6, Echo Tango Echo, net control for this evening's Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club TechNet. Looking for check-ins. Anyone wanting to check in to tonight's TechNet, please call now.
November 0, Whiskey, India, Quebec. Like to check in because I'll be listening for a while.
Hey. Good evening, Gary. How are you doing today?
I'm waiting for a couple of days for my Pi Star. Yeah. Anyway, I'm doing fairly decently.
That's good to hear, and thank you for checking in. Anyone else want to check in for tonight's TechNet, please call now.
Kilo Delta 0, Yankee Oscar Papa, Scott in Fort Collins.
November 0, Echo Mike Papa, Greg in Fort Collins with Debbie, K0DBE.
November 0, November Yankee, Bart in Evans.
Alpha Echo 0, Charlie Foxtrot, Ben Fort Collins.
Hey, KD0YOP, N0EMP, K0DBE, N0NYY, and AE0CF. Thank you everyone for checking in. This is Kilo Alpha 6, Echo Tango Echo, net control for this evening's TechNet. Looking for check-ins. Anyone wanting to check into tonight's TechNet, please call now.
This is KE0, CPR, Kilo Echo 0, Charlie Papa Romeo, Mark in Loveland.
KE0 CPR, Mark. Thank you for checking in. Anyone else?
KE4 CPY, Kilo Echo 4, Charlie Papa Yankee, out of Boulder, currently mobile. Casey.
KE4 CPY. Thank you for checking in. This is Kilo Alpha 6, Echo Tango Echo, net control for this evening's Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club TechNet. We'll take check-ins anytime during the net for those listening in or those tuning in late. If you have anyone that has any questions they would like to ask the net to get us started, please call now.
KE01 YYU.
KE0YYU, you have a question or just checking in? If you have a question, go ahead.
How about both? For all the long-time hams on frequency, is there much traffic on 1.25 meters? Just kind of wondering if it's worth bringing for a radio that operates on that band. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, the 1 1/4 meter or 1.25, the 220 megahertz frequency. It's not very active. There is some activity on it. I know there's a group of guys that talk, and I can't think of the frequency right now, that generally have a round table type net just about daily in the Fort Collins area. My opinion is, if you looking at a radio, the more frequency range you have with it as far as different bands, the better off you are, as long as you are not sacrificing quality for quantity and frequency regards. Anyone else have any input they'd like to share on is the use of the 1.25 meter band?
EMP.
N0EMP, Greg, go ahead.
Yeah, we used to have 2 repeaters on that band, and we've been plagued with technical problems trying to get one of them on Buckhorn back up. That's kind of a back burner issue right now because of some other things, but we do have a couple allocations for channels for repeaters there, and I understand there's a Boulder repeater on that band. The group up here that does simplex, I believe, is 223.5 megahertz and 0 EMP.
The 223.5 megahertz does sound very familiar. I know I've tried checking in on it with my HT, and I just don't have the range. I haven't connected it to an external antenna from inside my house to do much else with it, but I'm looking at getting another base radio that will do it, just so I have that option also. Like you say, we have the one repeater that we've been plagued with issues with, but there is options out there for it. I know some people can get to the Boulder repeater from the northern Colorado area, Fort Collins, Loveland area, so that's always an option. That kind of give you a little bit of insight. KE0YYU.
KE0AJT checking in.
I recently sprung for an FTM 400 Yaesu, and I was just kind of wondering if it would be worth it. My technician license does allow me to use those bands, so just kicking it around. Thanks for the info. Back to net.
EMP with a little further.
Greg, go ahead.
Yeah, Rocky Mountain VHF Plus is a single sideband club or organization. I don't know if they're really a club, but they have a website. They do single sideband nets on 6 meters and up, and one a night, and they have a 220 megahertz night for single sideband. So there's also that going on up here, and 0 EMP.
Yeah, definitely. thank you for that, Greg. Gives me even more reason I should be up on my roof the next reasonable day putting my Yagi up for VHF and UHF frequencies, just so I can start participating in some of them single sideband nets a little bit more frequently instead of trying to use a vertical. A little bit easier with the Yagi on single sideband. But thank you for that. There was a station that was trying to check in that I did not catch the whole call sign. Please try again.
Kilo Delta Zero Alpha Juliet Tango Mike.
N0 WIQ with a comment.
Okay, I heard you in there. Carol, you're going to hear in a second. KD0AJT Mike, are you just checking in or did you have a question also?
Just checking in for right now.
Okay, thank you for checking in. N0WIQ, Carrie, go ahead with your comment.
Well, if memory serves me, technicians can use frequencies from 50 megahertz on up. So I thought I'd make that comment because it's been a while since I really checked real close, but I'm a general, so I can jump all over the place.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the technician class is pretty much wide open, 50 megahertz and up, and then lower. There's spots where they can use some of the other HF frequencies, but that's getting a whole different realm of it. But yeah, 50 megahertz and up, pretty much full range of every band there is. Thank you for that. Yeah, this is Kilo Alpha 6 Echo Tango Echo net control for this evening's NCARC TechNet. Anyone else have any questions or comments they would like to ask the net? Please call now.
This is Whiskey 1 Victor Alpha November, Ivan, with an announcement.
Ivan, go ahead.
We have the W0 DMR fusion repeater up and working out at Latham Reservoir there. That's southeast of Greeley. It's hooked up to the Brandmeister network there. Has a lot of traffic on it already. Check it out and experiment with it. Using the newer Yaesu radios, you'll use the digital tones. If you long press the GM button, I think it'll be self-explanatory. Come check it out. It's on 448925, negative offset. This is W1BAM.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, I might have to check that out. A fusion repeater on the Brandmeister network could be a little bit interesting.
Yeah, it's a learning curve for sure. If anybody wants to come experiment with it, and maybe we can figure out how to handle this beast. But right now, it's open for experimentation.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that. I might have to turn on my 991 later and see if I can get it from my house with just a vertical outside. I should be able to. I can reach the Greeley repeaters and all them real easy, so should be able to reach that one. So, and I can do all the Yaesu digital mode or the fusion, whatever you want to call it. Do all that right from the 991. So might have to give that a try later this evening. Thank you for that. Anyone else have anything before we move on? There, nothing. Move on to a question I have that's kind of a specific question. I don't know if anyone will have any information on it or what they use. I've been trying to reprogram a MTT4BT 40-watt APRS transceiver from Bionics, which I cannot get any terminal window to recognize the MTT4 when I plug it in that. I've gone through all the steps that Bionics publishes for the steps for programming and that. Tried using the terminal controller that they recommend, which is the TerraTerm. I've also tried using the PuTTY and a couple other ones, and I cannot get anything to recognize it. Anyone have any suggestions or anything they've come across with trying to program the MTT4s?
One question, is that a USB to serial or is it just a straight serial?
It is a serial out of the unit. I have the serial to USB adapter that I have tried and tried direct serial to serial connections. The serial to USB, I have all the drivers and everything installed. I have programmed it before when I first got it and wanted to change the programming. Right now it's just a APR transmitter. I was going to change it to a mobile digipeater, which it's capable of, but I just can't get into the programming menu for it to change the settings that I need to change. But yeah, it's serial to USB is the main programming.
Okay, yeah, that was kind of the question I was looking or poking at. Microsoft killed off a bunch of drivers for specific chips that weren't made by the original manufacturer. You may want to go digging for a new driver, and that may or may not be the problem. It would also assist on a lot of the long and other electronic.
Yeah, you were kind of breaking up there and lost the repeater towards the end, but got most of what you were saying. That was my next step that I was going to try, was uninstalling all the drivers and everything and resetting it to an older driver for the cables that I have, just to see if it might have been a driver issue. Just figured I'd ask people on the net, see if anyone's had any experience with it and what they've found with it, if anyone has.
E0CF?
E0CF, Ben, go ahead.
Have you tried testing the USB serial adapter on its own by, I guess one thing is to short the pin 2 and 3 together and see if you can get feedback into the terminal program you're using?
Yeah, I have tested the cable. In fact, I have ended up with 2 of them because when I first bought the unit, I ordered the cable with it and everything, and then I couldn't find the cable and ended up making another one, but I have went through and checked all of the, make sure it was everything was going through the cable to the proper pins and everything else, and all of that checked out fine.
Alright, you just want to make sure that it's on the repeater side or the device side. All right, well, just want to make sure. AE0CF, BACnet.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's definitely something that gets overlooked all the time. I've been playing around with different trying to figure it out for a few days now and just cannot get anything to work. The next step that I was thinking of was uninstalling all the drivers and everything and reinstalling an older version of stuff just to make sure wasn't an issue with the updated version. I know it's not the first thing I've found that I've had issues with the new computer that I have. That's the Windows 10 Professional seems to have some driver compatibility issues with some devices, so wouldn't be surprised if it's something with the computer itself.
N0WIQ, what kind of software have you been using?
I've been using the Terraterm and the PuTTY. It's for programming this, you have to do everything's command line through a terminal window. There is no actual software for it.
Well, I was going to suggest checking out RT System software, see if they have some for that radio, because they're pretty good about customer service and everything else, so I thought maybe I'd suggest that because, hey, I'm no Windows fan myself, so I use something that's called Linux on my system. So anyway, back to net.
Yeah, no, it's not an actual radio, it's just a little 40-watt transceiver. It's APRS only, single frequency. It's basically TNC with an internal transmitter for sending and receiving packet information. And so no one makes anything, no programming software for it or anything. Like I said, it's all command line programming from a terminal window. It's very raw programming. But I definitely agree, and all my radios I use RT Systems. That's probably the best programming I have found for any radio, and I like the fact that they're local in Colorado.
KE4CPY. I applaud you, sir, for still using one of the old school packet transceiver devices.
Couldn't really catch the first part of that. I got the last couple few words. I don't know if you want to repeat it.
It's KE4CPY. I was just saying I applaud you, sir, for using one of the old school packet devices. There's not very many of us that still have one of those floating around.
Oh yeah, this is made by Bionics. They're old school feel and concept to them, but new school technology that's used. I mean, they still make them. You can still purchase them today, and I like it because they're easy to hide. You can put it just about anywhere. Essentially, once you have it programmed, you plug 12 volts into it and connect an antenna, and you're good to go. I mean, been using them for a few years now as APRS transmitters and that, but I like the fact that I can also change it over and you can run an iGate with it, a digipeater. You can do any packet rate. You can use it for packet radio, connecting it to a computer for 1200 baud or 9600 baud rate. packet, FM packet stuff, so it's definitely nice to use and easy to use once it's programmed. This is Kilo Alpha 6, Echo Tango Echo, net control for this evening's Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club TechNet. Do we have anyone else that has any questions or comments for the net? Please call now.
Whiskey 2, Mike, India, Charlie, Mark, Loveland, late check-in, please.
Good evening, Mark. Good to hear you on the radio. Got you checked in. Anyone else have any questions or check-ins for the net? I hear nothing. I'd like to remind everyone Wednesday evening is the Club Net starting at NCARC Club Net starting at 6:30 with early check-in starting at 6 p.m. As always, and also remind the members that are listening that this Saturday is the NCARC Club meeting, which will be online. I'm sure Darren will be sending an email out with the login information for the Zoom meeting, and also remind everyone should have had an email for voting on the bylaws change for the club. Again, I'd like to thank everyone for checking in and contributing. Look forward to hearing from everyone again next week. This is Kilo Alpha 6 Echo Tango Echo closing the net and returning the repeater to normal use. 7-3. Hope everyone has a good evening and stay safe.